I'm Mark Reilly, and this is the Limerick Post Show. Today I'm joined by Dylan Flynn, the lead vocalist and guitarist for Dylan Flynn and the Dead Poets. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thanks for having me.
No, pleasure. So you released a new single, Shine, and just could you tell me a little bit about it, the process within it, the feedback you've got on it so far, and basically, did you enjoy making it? Was it stressful, the ins and outs?
Yeah, so Shine is a song that we've had for, I'd say, the bones of 2 years now. We've been playing it live for a while, well, before obviously COVID happened. And it's the third single off our Crazy How We Live Like This collection of songs. There'll be three more singles coming out throughout this year and the start of next year. But yeah, we actually started recording it out in Ballyhan Studios out in Bird Hill. We recorded the drum work there over the last kind of 6 months or so, and we produced the rest of it from here. So we did. I suppose we started it last October, and then it was kind of finished by May. There was a few finishing touches that kind of went on from there, but it was finished in May. So I suppose it took us about 8 months to complete, all in all. Actually, it was probably one of the less stressful songs that we produced. But like by the time we got around to recording it, we'd been playing it live for a while, so we kind of had the majority of the production sussed out. There was a couple of synths and a couple of guitar lines that we kind of changed and stuff like that, and some vocal harmonies and whatnot. But all in all, it was a fairly straightforward process. I think at this stage, we've kind of gotten ourselves to a point where our production it nearly kind of flows so well because we've done it so many times now. We
Yep.
started producing our own music when we released our debut EP, and kind of from then on, we just got more and more used to what we were doing and the whole process in itself. So yeah, no, I really enjoyed doing this one.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. I was having a few looks at through your music there earlier, and yeah, it's actually really good. So I added it straight away. Literally, I listened to the first minute of it. I was like, yeah, love it. So I suppose what's like in general, what's the feedback been like? I suppose like you've a massive following on Spotify now, so you're doing some incredible stuff. But like locally, what's it been like in Limerick? Like, how's the support been? Have you heard much back or?
Yeah, it's been really good. Like Spin Out West have played the track, and they've played a couple of our tracks before that, and Live 95, have played a couple of the tracks as well. So like the support locally has been amazing, and we released some merch for the first time there in like a year, like a month ago, and it sold out in like the first day. So like locally, like the support is amazing, and even outside the county, like RTE 2XM's picked up on the track, and Today FM picked up on our last single and stuff like that. So it's nice to see our music start to kind of, I suppose, reach a larger audience outside Limerick, because that's something we always wanted to do. Like we had an Irish tour booked before COVID hit, just in small gigs around the country, but it was kind of the next step for us to start playing outside of Limerick,
Of course,
and
yeah.
obviously that got cancelled, and I was like, what am I going to do? So I kind of put the head down and just kept working on demos and getting songs ready. And then once 2021 rolled around, we had a load of songs like nearly ready to go. And that's kind of showed this year. Like we had You at the start of the year, and then Days, and then Shine. Like the singles have been kind of consistently coming out. And as I said, we've two more ready to go, and one more that we're working on that'll be out. That'll be out in the new year and stuff like that. But yeah, no, the feedback's been amazing.
Yeah, good to hear. Yeah, like I believe are you done studying? Are you still
Yeah,
studying LIT?
just finished. Just
Just
finished.
finished.
Finished up. Yeah,
Congrats.
finished up there in May. Yeah, I was delighted. Yeah.
So it was music technology and production, I believe, is it?
That was it. Yeah.
How was it? Did you have a passion for it straight away? I would assume you did. And like was it like did you feel the time fly by, and was it hard balancing that with making music, or did it
Uh,
kind of fold into one?
yeah. Like at the like before I had even considered going into the music technology and production course, I was in Mary I, and I was going to become a teacher, and
Yeah, yeah.
I did like a year of that, and I was like, no, I was like, this isn't for me.
Yeah, it
So
happens.
I just
Yeah.
it does, yeah, and I just ended up working for a year, and I didn't really work on any music in the period when I was in Mary I, and I suppose the 6 months after I left, and then I suppose I'd been doing nothing for a year, and my old band had just ended, and I was like, okay, I kind of need to start doing something. So I started recording myself at home, and I was working in a pub, and one of the guys working in the pub was actually a lecturer in the music production and technology course, and he was like, "Have you checked it out?" And I always kind of said that I didn't really want to make music like my something full time, because I always wanted it to be fun, and
Yeah.
I never wanted to make it a chore. So I said like going to college for it might not be the best idea, but I was like, here, look, I'll try it. I'll see what happens. And yeah, as soon as I went in, man, I absolutely loved it, and I met so many great people that I'm like best friends with to this day, and probably will be for the rest of my life. The connections that I made through it are probably like are probably a really important part of our band.
Absolutely,
Like
yeah.
like I met Rocky O'Shea, like who owns the commercial in Limerick, and he let us put on gigs there, and that's how we started Bit Depth, which is like the collective that we have with a few other artists in Limerick,
Yeah, not to
and
pull you up. That's literally what I was just about to ask you. So you're a co-founder of BitDept.
yeah,
How did
yeah,
that
yeah.
come about? And it, like, how are you loving it or?
Yeah, I absolutely loved it. Like there was three of us in the pub one night. Me, Chris, who is his artist name is Culla, and then Sean from Galway band New Dad, who are doing amazing stuff now. But we were all in the pub one night. And we were like, we want a night where we can just bring bands, local bands or bands from outside the county that we like, that probably aren't getting gigs anywhere else because they're so small at the moment, and we just want to give them a platform to play music to a small crowd, a big crowd, whoever comes on the night. So the first lineup was, I think, us, New Dad, and a band called Light Grey. And I think we had like nearly a full house that night, which was class. Like, you know, it was everyone from college came down. There's a great scene in Limerick. Like, you know,
Oh,
there's loads of people
absolutely.
love Limerick or love music in Limerick. Like, so it
Yep.
was easy to get the crowds down. The ball just kept rolling. We just kept putting them on, and we put one on in Clonmel. We put one on in Galway, and but yeah, but obviously then COVID happened, so we couldn't continue to put on the live gigs. So I was like, we kind of turned our head to kind of making it more like a label. Like, we're not officially a label, but what we've started doing is like get bringing other artists in, releasing the music through Bit Depth, giving them a hand with like radio and like blog placements and
Platform,
stuff like that.
effectively.
Yeah, yeah, it's basically a
Yeah.
platform to help spread their music, and everyone kind of bounces off each other. Then, you know, if I have a new song out, the rest of the lads in the collective share it, and if they have a new song
Yeah.
out, you know, we all share it. You know, it's like a little family, and you know, it allows us to reach a bigger audience. So
Yeah. Well, as everybody knows, all good plans come from a pub. They all start in a pub.
true, true, true.
It's the truth of it. So yeah, just to bring you back, you mentioned it again because I meant to ask you about Monday Villains. How did that go? How did it form first of all, and how did you kind of split and take a little break from music? What was your process in thinking there?
Mm. So the way Monday Villains formed was I met the lads in secondary school. We all ended up going to secondary school together, and we just used to like jam like old classic rock covers from like first year to
Yep.
like third year, and then I think we got offered a gig in like third year, and because we were all part of Music Generation, which was like this kind of initiative set up by the government, and that when we used to go down to like a music hub like every Sunday, and we used to jam down there, and we kind of had a mentor and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and they ended up offering us gigs, so we were like, we might be able to take this seriously, and then I suppose from like transition year to sixth year, then we played loads of gigs, and we kind of kept growing it. Like, we never even released music officially. Like, we were kind of known for our live show, but we had
Yeah,
like
just
this big
enjoying the gig.
following around
Yeah.
Limerick. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was great fun. But unfortunately, then two of the lads ended up moving away for a year, so we kind of split up for a little while, and then one of the lads ended up staying away for longer than expected. So as I said, I didn't do any music for about a year, but then I was like, okay, I have to do something, and that's kind of how the Dead Poets came about. And even at the start, like, we weren't called Dylan Flynn the Dead Poets; we were just called Dylan Thomas. Like, Thomas is my middle name, so that was kind of what I went by. But
Okay.
once I met the lads then in college, it felt way more like a band. And I suppose after playing with them for about 6 to 9 months, I can't remember exactly when we made the call, but we just decided to change the name and make it a band, because like I'm writing the songs and doing a good bit of production, but like, there's Chris in the band. He does a lot of additional production. Keegan does like guitar work and extra harmonies, and then our drummer Gavin, he mixes everything. So
That's what I was going to
we're
ask.
all,
You self-produce and self-record.
we
So
do, yeah, yeah, everything's
leads
done
me to
ourselves.
like another question. Is that like, would you say that's more like, it's so hard to like figure out because I know you love doing it and like obviously clearly Joe it's your life and you love doing it, but like, is that more stressful?
Yeah,
Or
it definitely can be at times. Like, the reason we started doing it was because we were working with other people, and we kind of weren't happy with the sound that was coming out. And nothing against those people. It was just, obviously, we had a vision in our heads that we wanted, and it just wasn't coming through. So we decided to take it on ourselves. And that first EP was definitely super stressful. Like, we were working down like to the day, like, because I remember we had our EP launch booked for November, and so we knew we needed to have like the EP sent off like at least 3 weeks beforehand to get the CDs in time and stuff like that. And I think we literally worked down to the day. I think we might have gone a few days over, and they rushed the CDs out for us. But yeah, that was really stressful. But as I said, since then, like we've gotten used to the process, and it's become a lot easier. And there's definitely stressful moments at times, especially when like if I'm sitting here in the studio and I'm working on a track and I'm like is that actually good? And
Yeah.
but it's handy
That,
that I have
that,
the rest of
that,
the band there now. You get in your head, you do, yeah.
that other voice just questioning you. It's always there. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Because if you're working with like an outside external producer, that's their job. It's their job to be like, yeah, no, that is good. Like that you need and like trust your gut sometimes, and maybe not trust your gut, and they tell you what is actually right and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's all about bouncing ideas. But it's handy that like even though we do self-produce, it's nearly like there's four producers in the band because we're all so musically inclined, and like Chris has his own projects as well, Keegan has his own projects, and Gavin's been in other bands as well. So like it's not just like we're all working on this music all the time. We all have external influences and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and it all kind
Yeah.
of feeds into the band. So
Yeah. No, that's it's brilliant. I suppose Shine. What like, am I correct in saying that you were going through a tough time when you were writing it?
yeah, like yeah, I was going through a tough time when I wrote it, and I suppose a lot of the time, like my music can be kind of cathartic for me and allow me to allow an outlet for me to get kind of emotions out.
Impressive. Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
and yeah, that song definitely helped me through a tough time, and but yeah.
Yeah. No, because it is brilliant, and I think it's more authentic when I suppose honesty comes through in the music. Because I mean, otherwise it's just sound. If the lyrics are something that are meaningful to you and a part of you, well then it just translates to the fans a lot easier, I find. And I
Yeah,
just
no,
think people can relate to it a lot more.
yeah, definitely. Like I remember when I first like started writing my solo stuff after I came out of Monday Villains, and I definitely wrote songs, and I was just like, these lyrics just sound cool. And after a
Yeah.
while, you're singing them, and it just, I don't know, it nearly feels like cardboard or something like that when the words come out
Yeah.
of your mouth. Because then
Yeah.
there's no substance to them. So
Yeah.
I kind of sat down with myself at one stage, and I was like, if I'm really gonna do this, I can't just be writing stuff just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
That's when I started drawing from obviously my own life and past experiences and stuff like that, which in my opinion has definitely made our music a lot stronger overall. Well, it's obvious that it did. But yeah, it did, and even now, like when I'm sitting down, the odd time it happens, like I sit down and I'll write. It just might be a line, and I'll be like, "What does that mean?" And then I'll be like, "That actually means nothing. I only wrote it down because it rhymed, or something like that." And I
Yeah.
have to catch myself. It's you can there's times where fluff can get its way into lyrics, and it can happen in productions as well. Like I'll often be sitting there and I'll just be adding stuff for the sake of it because I think it needs more. But you can
Yeah.
always overwork something. So yeah, I think it's just a matter of being honest with yourself and kind of taking a step back and having an external perspective and being like, is this actually good? Do I mean what I'm saying here? So
Yeah. And like you were saying, just like being expressive with your music and kind of, I suppose, conveying your emotions and what you're going through at the time. What to you, like what song have you released that I suppose what represents you the best out of this music you've released, do you think?
out of all my songs,
Yeah.
um, I think You, the first single that we put out this year, definitely was the most personal to me in terms of lyrics and songwriting and stuff like that. And even though it's probably the most different to any of the rest of our songs,
Mhm.
and that might even be why, because
Yeah.
I felt that need to put it out because I felt so connected to it. I didn't even really care that it was so different. I knew that this is me. That was like the lyrics are so personal to me, and it feels so right, then just put it out. And
Yeah.
and, and I was right to as well, because at the time it became our best performance song. Like there was people, like the reaction to it was crazy. Like it was the first time we started getting like proper radio play
Yeah.
outside of Limerick and whatnot. And it kind of it's just grown from there. Like Days did really well, and now Shine is doing just as well. So yeah, I'm really happy that I did do it, because it started something that might not have started if I didn't. So
No, it's absolutely brilliant. I say, yeah, again, it's a touch of you coming through, and it's your imprint left on the music. So I
Mhm.
think people do relate to that. It's not just
Yeah.
like, let's say, I don't know, a generic Cardi B song or whatever. Even though they sell, they mean nothing. Like
Yeah.
people do relate to music that is, I suppose, conveying a message that like it speaks to them. So of course it would. Record.